What's up, cloud gamers, and welcome to another weekly cloud gaming news roundup where we cover all the news from the past week and we look to see how things have evolved with all the services. And we have quite a bit to cover, starting with why finally we might have some more insight on what's going on with Apple and why they are possibly against all cloud gaming services as they look to be opening up their own cloud gaming service at some point. Wow, we'll have to check that out. We also got a weekly roundup of the Stadia news and the new games that have come out. Geforce now had a crazy good week releasing Chromebooks and more games, and Shadow gets an update for iOS and tvOS that I'm excited to talk about. All that in this news video, so be sure to be subscribed for your weekly roundup of cloud gaming news around the horn, and definitely hit that like button so we can reach more cloud gamers in all of our community. But alright, let's start with the ever controversial Apple and all their shenanigans that they've done in the past month, and they just don't leave the news when it comes to this stuff. We finally, though, might have a theory on why all that is and why they're not so friendly towards other cloud services. Apple has filed a patent for a cloud gaming service that will work in conjunction with their upcoming devices that have 5G. Now, this patent was filed back in February and it was published on August 14th. Now, Apple has called it enabling interactive services for cloud rendering gaming in 5G systems. Now, what all this means specifically for Apple and what types of games that they're going to be running on their service is all still a mystery. And I'm going to be the first to admit I'm not very familiar with things like their Apple Arcade, but with all the recent controversy of things like xCloud, for example, not being supported on Apple devices, and you completely unable to stream your games like you can with Android devices, this all really leads to the question if there is some sort of conspiracy here to have only their cloud service be on all Apple devices in regards to gaming. Now, I feel this is a legitimate question, but in truth, I'm not so convinced that this is the case. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys decide your thoughts on this in the comments below. I'd actually be really curious to hear what you guys have to say on this particular subject. Apple wanting to open up their own cloud gaming service, do you think that is a reason why they are blocking all these other services? Definitely let me know down in the comments, but that is the news right now, that Apple is filing a patent and they are looking to open up their own service. This is going to be interesting to see in the coming months, years. When this ends up happening and launching, I will be covering it, but my goodness, Apple, what are you guys doing? Alright, let's go ahead though and finally move on to the rest of the news for the week. Stadia had yet another relatively quiet week yet again, but it wasn't so bad this time around. This week, Stadia went ahead and released 4 games. That's typically more than usual. They ended up releasing Super Mind Control Delete, PGA Tour 2K21, Spiritfarer, and Doom 2016, as well as new sales all across the board for Stadia Pro users and non-pro users. There was also a release date that was announced for the big title Baldur's Gate 3, and it is set to come on September 30th. But if you haven't already dived into Stadia Pro yet, it's one of my favorite cloud gaming services of the bunch. Actually, I should say it's my very favorite one, and I would highly encourage checking out that 1-month Pro, as new games coming up for the Pro membership in September are Hitman, Hello Neighbor, as well as big titles that are releasing outside of Pro like Marvel, Avengers. Right now is one of the better times to jump into Stadia, and while they have been relatively quiet these past few weeks, really the quietest I have ever seen in a long time, there is a lot happening in the months ahead, and this platform is set to take off. So if you haven't already, check out Stadia, and I will be covering all their news on this channel. Alright, Geforce Now had an excellent week this past week with the release of Geforce Now on all Chromebooks, and the timing couldn't be more perfect, with a lot of people utilizing your Chromebooks at home due to work or school. Now, it's as easy as going on and using the Chrome OS and going to play.geforcenow.com, logging in and launching your games right then and there. Also, if you happen to play off your Chromebooks, you will see ray tracing and DLSS 2.0 for games that support it, like for example Cyberpunk 2077 when it comes out. So essentially, you can play a game as high quality as Cyberpunk 2077 on GeForce Now when it launches on day 1 with ray tracing, and do this all on your Chromebook. That is pretty insane. It's pretty cool news. We also have a list of games that have come out this past week for GeForce Now. Mortal Shell and Peaky Blinders Mastermind. Those are both brand new titles that released this past week. We have Black Mesa, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch and Episode 2, Steel Division, and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Not only that, but if you were to go on the Epic Store right now, at the time of me dropping this video, you can claim God's Trigger, play it for free on GeForce Now with the free tier if you're new to the service. All of this can be done 100% free. You can claim the game free and you can play it on GeForce Now for free. No money upfront on either things. I highly encourage you guys to check it out. God's Trigger is a decent game. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It's a decent game. With that said, it's another solid week for GeForce Now, and like always, stay tuned for content on this channel in regards to GeForce Now in the future. Right, let's go ahead though and finally move on to the last piece of news in this video, and that is about Shadow news. And I haven't talked about Shadow in quite a few weeks, but they came out with a really cool update. As the one of the only cloud services working on Apple devices, these updates were exactly for those. They made a number of bug fixes and improvements on things like the PS4 controller, but one of the biggest updates here is keyboard and mouse support should now be fully functional with Shadow tvOS and iOS, both with the 3.1.0 updates. This is good news for Shadow, and as a personal user of both keyboard and mouse as my main gaming peripherals, I was really happy to hear this. If you guys are interested in Shadow, click my referral link down below. Use the code ILOVESHADOW to receive a $5 coupon off your first month. I've been loving the updates this past week for Shadow, and I'm happy to see one of my new favorite cloud services continuing to improve. With all that said, let me know your thoughts down below on any of today's news topics. Let me know what you guys think about Apple. Are they being deliberate on not letting other cloud gaming services being used on their platforms for their own gain? Let me know your thoughts on that and any of the latest news on GeForce Now and their Chromebooks, Stadia releasing more games, and Shadow finally getting this awesome update. Let me know your thoughts on any of those today. Make sure you're subscribed for your weekly roundup of cloud gaming news. And like always, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the cloud.